underneath the Christmas tree. The sun is out, so I think it's time to plant bulbs that I excessively bought during Black Friday. I know they arrived, and of course then we had terrible cold weather, and the ground was frozen solid, so they've been waiting to go in. I have put a few in pots that I gifted, and this is what's left, which is, yeah, an excessive amount of bulbs. I'm not sure where they're going. Some will go in pots. I've got some great varieties from Farmer Gracie. I've got ice cream banana. I've got some other kind of those tulips that have that sort of fat centre. There's crocuses. There's tulips that I already bought from Farmer Gracie earlier in the year, such as Red Dress, the Rasta Parrot, ones that I knew I really wanted, and they're already potted up in various containers. But then I couldn't resist in the Black Friday sale, which was like 90% off. How can you resist? So there's more. Oh, there's an ice cream strawberry one. So yeah, we've got all sorts of things here. There's a Florosa tulip, Vanilla Coupe tulip, White City, Hyacinth Hispanica, tulip brownie, Princess Irene parrot, more Rasta parrot, Esquilla white moon, white moon, some fritillaria, which I can never say, Melagrus mix. There is in here as well 3-cornered leek, which I tried to forage this year and failed miserably. I couldn't find any anywhere, so I thought, well, I'll grow some. Allium Graceful Beauty. Now that I've got all of these in these packets, I have no idea what they look like, what colour they are. So potentially I'm going to have to look each one up as I plant them to know where they will go in what is a very random scheme anyway, so I'm not sure it entirely matters. There are parts of the garden where I've tried to have more soft pinks, more blues, more hot colours. I'm not sure it'll quite work out like that because stuff will come up that I forgot was there, I'm sure. Yeah, this is exciting. Oh, some crocus, they really need to go in. It's probably too late for those already. Planting time, autumn. Oh, that one says autumn or spring for the Ornithogalum or Oligophyllum, which is common name, Dwarf Star of Bethlehem. That's what I need, common names. What was the common name? Oh, there we go, there's a 3-cornered leek. Triquetrum. So there are 20 bulbs in there. Now that will be invasive, so I'm going to put that in a container. And I have got little, Farmer Gracie sends you little planting guides for each of your types of plants, so I shall use those. And also I just wanted to put something in my new truck that I got for Christmas. So I thought I would pile all the bulbs in there in readiness. But I think what I perhaps need to do is organise them into different types. So I know which are my alliums, which are my tulips, etc. And then maybe by colour. Maybe by colour more than by type, actually. What a nice job to do in Twixmas. Okay, let's get planting. While we're in my living room, I thought I would just show you the winter squash I have stored under the television. It's not a bad place to store them. It's kind of an ambient temperature. Doesn't get really direct sunlight on it. Oh, there's a tiny bit coming through right now. I just had a check of all my squash. I've got more butternut squash and spaghetti squash upstairs. You need to keep checking them just to make sure none of them are rotting. I did have one spaghetti squash that had rotted right through, so that's just gone into the compost bin. And this one, which is a Hubbard, has a small, there we go, a small sort of moulding patch, so that one's going to be next for the pot. Should be fine inside, should be good still to eat. But everything else, happily, is looking very good. They were cured on the windowsill for at least a couple of weeks, and I didn't harvest them till quite late because we had such a warm autumn. These were all grown on the front garden, which is just outside here, and I just didn't have enough room for squash in the backyard, so I put them on the front. There isn't a lot to look at right now, but in the summer this was covered in squash and nasturtiums and cosmos, sunflowers. It was a really productive area. It's now mostly, well, there's a little bit of garlic and onions, and then there's Phacelia as a cover crop, which the frosts haven't managed to kill, so that's still going. And I've now planted an apple tree on the front. So the idea being that this will become a little permaculture, little food forest in this small space on my front. I do highly recommend planting on your front if you've got space, or even if you can put some containers and things, because people see you and they come and talk to you about it. Loads of people spoke to me about those pumpkins. I made friends with neighbours. A lady round the corner just knocked on my door one day. She said she'd seen me working on the front, and at that point it was just bare ground, and would I like some plants, and she dug me some stuff up that I put in, and since then we've become quite good friends and done lots of plant exchanges. But yeah, just generally chatting with people, and in fact I would say that working on that front is how I got my allotment, because a guy around the corner stopped and told me how much he'd enjoyed watching my pumpkins grow, and how successful the crop had been, and that he hadn't had much luck on his allotment plot. So we got talking about that, and I said I would quite like an allotment plot, and he told me when I could expect the gate to be open, when the steward would be there to go and have a chat, and that very much worked out. So yeah, it's been quite a joy. And as if to immediately prove my point about working in the front garden, one of the neighbours has just popped around while I was putting in the bulbs and has brought me some seeds that she got for Christmas but doesn't want. So that's great. I've got some leek, a squash that I haven't got, and a couple of herbs. See, it's great. Right, back to the tulips again. I've just put some of the snake's head fritillary into the lawn and some into a border. I've got a few bulbs left, which I think I'm going to put in a pot. Maybe actually I'll bulb lasagna with those. Although I bulb lasagnaed with some fritillary before and they just got swamped by everything else. No, let's do them separately then, because I just don't want to lose the bulbs in case they don't do well in the border or the lawn. Okay, so that's this job. Using quite, well, fairly gritty compost. It's a bit tricky to find the way up to do a fritillary bulb, but these are just beginning, focus, just beginning to sprout, so you can see which way to plant them up. They're not as distinctive as, say, a tulip bulb or an allium. So they're probably quite close together, but that's okay in a container. I would do them further apart, or I did do them further apart in the lawn and in the border, because they'll be there for a while. Whereas these ones, I'll let the foliage die back and then take out the bulbs and save them ready for next year. And if the ones in the border do fine, then I'll just put these in the border next year. So 5 to 10 centimetres deep. I do tend to think deeper the better with bulbs, but that should be fine, I think. Grit on the top to make it look nice, and because I'm a fan of Carol Klein. Okay. I'll give that a water, and then that can live outside. And I better label it because I'm bound to forget what's in there. I've made a significant dent, so it's just the white varieties that need to go out, and then the garlicky leaky stuff. I've had to stop because I need to eat, because I'm giving blood this afternoon. They say eat and drink a lot before you do, which is always a great excuse to have a big lunch. So I'm going to do that, go give blood, come back, and then get these ones in the ground in the backyard, and then those in the front, I think. So we're on to the final sowing of the day, which is the Babington leeks and the 3-cornered leek, which I'm doing both in pots. And I looked them up, and it seems they're pretty straightforward to plant. Feeling quite knackered. Got everything out there. Even the garlic is on the front. I think after giving blood, I would have quite liked to have just sat on the sofa and rested, but I checked the weather and it's rain tomorrow, so really want to get everything finished, and that means all my bulbs are in before the new year, so hopefully they'll get a good display in spring. So I'll just finish up, and then we're done for the day. Yesterday, it is rainy and windy today. We're just having a quick nip to the plot to drop off the vegetable scraps for Christmas dinner and all the peelings and things. So I'm just going to add those to the compost heap. There's plenty in my compost heap at home, but I reckon this one could do with some more variety. So let's go see what's happening on the plot. Hey Dory. Go to the plot. Yeah. And the cardboard's still here. The pear tree's still here. It's still a soggy mess. Let's see how soggy. Oh boy.
really bad. Job done. Ready for your walk, Dory? Let's go.